I think OBS signed in.
Alright, AC, it's very important that we make it a big deal. They changed it to body type 1 and 2. We need to get that grift money. We need to pump up those numbers, AC.
I mean, I would get the numbers, but... Oh, God, fuck. Oh, fuck. We're alive.
No, we're streaming right now. Oh
no.
Don't worry, guys. There's the male-female mod in the fucking shit shack nexus right now. Go get it.
Guys, it is so disappointing. They bent the knee to the woke mob that they changed male and female body type to body type 1 and 2. How dare they? Western civilization has fallen.
Here's the man. One thing I do want to say is I have more respect for y'all if you like mod in like a bunch of blue archive chicanery into this game than that pronoun selector. I would rather have the anime girl running around Cyrodiil.
Well, who wouldn't?
I mean, then again, like, it's... Also, RIP to the mod that replaces the menu theme with the J-Rock song that was in Dragon's Dogma originally. I can't find that mod anymore.
So did the original Oblivion intro look anything like this?
Nope.
No.
It looked like a map, and it had, like, a totally not Lord of the Rings-esque font for the title.
I'll be real, while this is kind of cool, it also feels a little lame. I feel like they could have gone with some, it looks really cool, but in a kind of generic way.
You don't like cool guy standing in front of something in like armor with a silhouetted out face?
I mean, it's cool, but it's also kind
generic.
Of meh. Yeah.
I know, I was more satirizing it.
I feel like I could have went with something more like so I don't know what the original looked like. Did it look cooler than this?
I can't really say. It was just a logo and the map behind it. A map that still had Such on it, which is a town that got scrapped before they can make any of it. But yeah. Now here's the thing. I think for this stream, I will be playing my character hides his tracks, mostly. And I might be messing around with the Thieves Guild because I haven't done that. But I will show off the character creator just to show it off.
All right, I'm looking at like the original Oblivion right now. I do kind of like the
7 years ago. For 65 years, I ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land.
So is that Oblivion?
Yeah, that's the realm of Oblivion.
This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
This is the Imperial City.
Is that frame rate
Yep.
like just on Discord?
Nope. I'm seeing it too.
Oh man.
The temperature is like staying relatively normal, so it's not like this is intensive thing.
Beginning to think that this game does not like OBS.
Wait, so Justin, you played this, right?
Yes, I've played this.
Was this an issue?
No, I did not have the choppy fucking opening menu at all.
Oh. What does your task manager look like, AC?
I don't want to know.
So was that like not pre-rendered then? I guess.
No,
it's pre-rendered.
Oh, it's pre-rendered.
Oh wait, what? The choppiness was despite it being pre-rendered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Wait, what's your task manager look like? Is it like eating up any resources?
I don't think it would be anymore. The choppiness is gone.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's too late. Also, one thing I want to say about the
Wait a
character
minute. Why
creator.
the? Oh, can you go back to like the like what is it? You were on an Imperial. Yeah. Why are the shadows like modulating like that?
Okay,
That's
so
not
I'm not the only one
normal.
noticing it.
Yeah, it looks his hair looks like a chameleon.
I will say, I think I might increase some settings, but for context for viewers at home, I had a water cooler system. Then one day, I realized that the thing was getting rather hot. And then I realized that no software detected such a water cooler. That it was just completely undetected. And me trying to figure out what was going on was why I didn't go last Tuesday. Needless to say, I lowered some settings. Although the one that took the only one that took the obvious hit was the shadows when it comes to the setting. That way I do not turn the only thing I have ever bought with my money into an IED.
Do you not have a fan still?
I have fans still. I have fans.
I mean, not to. I need to say for a sake is that it's like the cooler on your CPU is the most important one. Just general statement, full stop. Because if that shit gets hot, your PC's gonna turn off to stop itself from dying.
Thankfully my CPU is right now is at a whopping 55.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder if you have any kind of like I mean, because like it's not just the shadows. It looks like the hair is like modulating weirdly. I wonder if any of your upscaling stuff is kind of fucky right now.
I think there was something where like I turned it down the upscaling and then it got way cooler and I've just been living with it. And the worst thing is it's never been this like visible.
I mean, how's your anti-aliasing?
I can't get into the settings. I'm looking at the character creation.
Okay.
Or see?
Is that like FPS counter from Steam?
No.
No, that's from the game.
Oh, was that on yours too?
Yeah, I turned it on the game.
Alright.
It's off by default, but I like to have it just in case.
It is kind of fucky how it can't actually detect how much VRAM you have. That's a little bit funner.
Alright, can I see what the wood elf looks like? I want to see if they look like the Skyrim goblin elves. Oh, that's the wood elf. Okay, that looks like an elf. The wood elves, or maybe it's the high elves.
I think it's the high elves.
Oh yeah, it was the high elves I was thinking of. Yeah, the high elves in Skyrim look like goblins, and so does that. I love it. It looks like the hobgoblin specifically.
So
I love that orc. I love that scrawny ass fucking orc.
There's something that this character creator does that's really interesting.
Huh.
Now, one thing I want to point out, let me click off of this just to see. Alright, cool, my mic's being picked up. Alright, so, look down here. These are origins. You can either be from Sistress, or you can be from High Rock.
This is like one of the few entirely new features for this game.
Oh, neat.
You can select.
Is there any point to it?
Yes, because it actually does slightly affect how your stats distribute by default.
All right, so they didn't totally cave into the woke. They do have some race science.
I mean, sort of. I mean, obviously, there's definitely a handful of like fairly like straightforward approaches, especially ones where it's like, I mean, shit, fucking, I don't think anybody else is gonna be getting water breathing than the lizard people who live in the swamp place, or how the Bretons have a very specific thing. Not Bretons, how the Dunmer could commune with their ancestors and summon them as a power ghost.
Wait, is that a thing?
That's a thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's it.
And also, like, according to Dunmer lore, ancestral ghosts, they have to actually like inform them and update them on current events every now and then.
That's really funny. Wait, okay, wait. What do the what do the Kaji get? Is it night vision?
The Khajiit,
Yeah.
they get night vision. I don't know if they have the unarmed claws thing in Oblivion, but I know that was the thing in Morrowind and Skyrim.
That's cool.
So if you look, they're intelligent, quick, and agile. They're excellent thieves, unmatched acrobatics. But what do the origins provide you with?
Okay, Anaquina? The harsh
with your bare fists or any weapons you could find. So this one's a little bit more. That one's more focused on unarmed.
And Palatine is that, Palatine is more like you have more endurance. So, like, up here for attributes, this is 40 strength, and this is 40 endurance. So that's the pick.
Can I say what the difference between the orcs are in Origin? I'm very curious what their deal is.
Stronghold. Your fate was decided for you when you were born. As a member of the Stronghold, you would serve your chieftain with honor and make the orcs proud. Your charisma and resilience were honed for when you'd serve. And Orzinium. You've been proud to have been raised in Orzinium, where you train to be a versatile warrior as possible. As such, you are better with magic than most other orcs.
Can you go back and forth between a normal human and orc? It looks like they have the same body type, and it's fucking with me. Do they have any difference in their, like, shoulder width?
Most characters do have basically the same body type.
Oh, I hate that.
Look, it makes it more uniform, so that way it's easier for them to make armors. They're not gonna have the fucking. They're not gonna have the FF14 problem.
Did Skyrim have that too? I thought they were more bulky in Skyrim.
There is more like body sliders type stuff, and it's usually like, are you skinny or are you bulkier?
Like, can you turn to the side again, to the side profile?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like they gave up at the face. Like, it looks like the cheek is still a human, and then they do like an orc face on the human head.
Now here's the thing.
To be blunt, Morrowind orcs, like, orcs have never really been like
I'm not expecting Warhammer, but I do like kind of expect them to be bulkier.
Oh no, it's just that like they aren't even really that different. I mean like shit. I'm looking at Morrowind. They have the same physique as literally any other guy.
Okay, so I will say
that's pretty polygonal.
I will say with Morrowind, Khajiit and Argonians had different, like, way different, like, physiques as in their feet. Because they actually had, like, beast-like feet, and their drawback is that you couldn't wear shoes with them.
I think the thing that's screwing with me is that he has such a leathery face, and then the rest of his body is smooth. Like his cheek is smooth, and then you get to the face, and it's leathery.
HD.
I like the skin tone between, like, dark jungle green and then pale.
Also, to clarify, the one at the very bottom is from Daggerfall that I posted.
Let me see that. Let's see what kind of hair we got.
Oh, I didn't even notice you were posting. Yeah, the Daggerfall one's like, they go for the orc vibe still, though, of having them be like a big muscle person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say customers the link.
Unfortunately, we can't have as much race dimorphism as they do in fucking Grand Blue.
This just feels wrong. The L'Oreal hair on an orc. Did you put lipstick on them, or is that just their lips?
That's the fault.
It looks like they have lipstick on.
They just have very pronounced, like, lip color. Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
This is the VTuber tech right here, with the sliders.
Imagine someone just had this as a VTuber like face. Just
It reminds me of that like Inzoi game, like that Korean Sims game has so you can actually turn on like facial tracking.
That game fucks me up because of how that there's a lot of weird reliance on Gen AI stuff in that, from what I understand.
I don't know in what way, so I can't really judge.
So there's like a little bit of a weird moral gray area because they're using stuff from their own like little database. But like you can use it to generate textures, like repeating textures and like textures for your outfits and stuff like that. A lot of it is through like the kind of like the Gen AI style of just like typing out what you want and then it'll do it. My only real concern is that they never really specified where they got their data set to go off of. So regardless, I just don't fuck with it.
The green shin.
Here comes the fucking Crimson Chin. God damn.
Is there like a tusk slider? Can you make your tusks, your tootsies, a bit more?
oh yeah.
Oh, give them more of an underbite, I guess.
Looks like smelling like sniffs.
Snip off, snip off.
Oh, this is even.
You see, Grunk hit thing with head. Grunk is ready to hit thing with head.
Oh, A or B.
No, wait, he hits enemies with his chin. He chin butts them.
Is this like the Giga Chad orc I've made?
Kind of, yeah.
Wait, let me open it. Let me open
Are you actually gonna make an orc, or are you gonna stick with Orgonian?
I mean, he's probably just gonna
Load up.
tab back over to his actual save, yeah.
Oh, you already played it a bit. You're not gonna start from new.
He's gonna do a thieves. He's doing the Thieves Guild quest line.
Okay, I was like wondering if that's what you were going to try to get to or something, starting from the beginning. Oh, upper teeth. Oh, hey, kitty.
Oh my.
Go socialize. Speak to those fine people.
What is? Oh my.
Oh, my cat is tapping me for attention. I don't want to give you attention right now, cat. But I will, because you have a cute face. Where do you go?
I'll never personally relate to people's insistence on doing weird little creatures for these kind of games.
It is very funny. Whenever I played Dark Souls 2, I made my guy into a weird pepperhead man.
Look at all these.
It is silly.
Look at all these eye colors you can pick. This is not in the original, by the way.
God, I don't know why all the eyes are so fucking red.
Give him some heart eyes. They're not all red. What do you mean?
No, but like,
there's a lot of red, but like there's also a lot of
a
greens.
weird red tint. No. I mean like the tint of the eyeball.
Oh, like they aren't they aren't white. Like they're bloodshot.
Almost every eye is a little bit bloodshot. Like what the fuck? I mean, like, I played this game, and I don't get it. So many of those fucking characters look like they're crack addicts.
I mean, have you...
Stoma addicts!
No, I meant to say, I mean, have you seen the way they act, though?
Wait, how does makeup look?
Wait, no, Bone, check this out.
You can make fucking red orcs? What the hell?
Purple.
Oh no, yeah, you can give anybody like any color scheme combination you want to.
Wait, can you make the white boy orc? Can you make the honky orc?
I cannot. It's only.
Wait, really?
Wait, no.
Wait, can you do like pink and then change the tone?
Wait.
Or are you already on the lightest tone?
Lightest tone. Let me show you.
In lightest tone.
Look,
in
it's very
crackerest
important.
night.
Yeah, there we are, I think.
Nah, it's
That
so
might be the
green.
closest. It's yellow, really. Okay.
It's like putrid. It's like jaundice white.
You know what? This is the
Putrescence.
Caucasian representation we need in video games.
This guy looks like what would be the byproduct if any of those, like, we need the same video games and like they have like like if they somehow like they'd be looking like this guy.
Damn, I can't believe this is the ultimate result of the current focus on breeding for some reason in our office.
Yes, this is what peak humanity will look like. This is the superior race.
Oh, it doesn't. No, it doesn't do the Baldur's Gate 3 thing where it like keeps it when you swap the different races.
Ooh, I don't like that.
This haircut.
Oh. Gabby, gabby. Yabu gabby.
Look at this haircut, yo.
That. Well, you can't say they didn't have variety.
Bros, it's the fucking. Bro's got the fucking stereotypical Zoomer cut.
I don't think it's quite broccoli hair.
Bro got killed by some cliff racers, dead ass. Also, here's the.
That looks awful.
It gives you like Willem Germa Dafoe vibes.
What hairstyles do like the Dunmer usually have?
Chan.
Look at this haircut though.
Is that? I thought that was the Adoring Fan for a second.
No,
Here,
this is the
like...
Adoring Fan cut.
Oh my god, they actually have it?
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta look up what the Dunmer hair usually looks like. I'm just gonna look up Dunmer art.
It
kind of fucked me up that like Oblivion has no companions except the Adoring Fan. Actually,
I mean, if you
really?
If you never take Martin to Cloud Ruler Temple, he'll be a permanent companion.
That's right. You get them as a permanent companion. Yeah.
If you don't want to make a stealth build, for some reason, if you don't want to go all sneaky, you could just do that and get the Adoring Fan, Brother Martin, and Joffrey, and you could just play all the side quests with like 3 people. Like you have a 4-man party.
Alright, it looks like Dunmer just have normal hair styles.
The only thing that's different is Morrowind has some whack ones.
Alright, I'll look up Dunmer Morrowind.
Oh my god, look at that one.
Alright, Morrowind looks more along lines of what I'm expecting. Like, it kind of has like almost like a Mesoamerican look to some of it.
Look at this facial hair.
By Azura, we have to cook, Jesse.
Oh man, this is oh
fucking
god, give me
Abramic.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Jeddah. He looks like Jedediah. Some guy named
Jedediah
Jedediah.
Dark Elf.
I wanna say like
Yeah.
Dagoth Ur without the mask looks like this. Kinda. I could be wrong.
Like, I wanted to make a joke about how he looked Amish, but I couldn't think of any, like, Dunmer last names.
I always knew something was amish.
And I've seen a lot of Amish people in my general location. It always weirds me out seeing, like, the carriages with the turn signal.
God. That is a really funny mental image to me for some reason.
It's funny to see.
Oh. Dunmer when they're drawn by fan artists be like.
It always fucks me up how I saw someone that was like, oh man, all Dark Elves are so ugly in this game. Number 1, that's a crazy thing to say regardless. Number 2, no they aren't. They're not that ugly.
like I would say that there's some leeway for that in like Skyrim. They're fucking weird, a little bit weird looking in Skyrim, but these just look like dudes.
Honestly, I was gonna say actually, this is really quick. I was just gonna say I think that like, I think Skyrim most Skyrim characters are kind of ugly by comparison.
Yeah, but they look kind of alienish in Skyrim. They got like here, let me find an image of one.
One
They
thing,
got like almost like Klingon brows a little bit.
one thing I do want to say is I feel like it's like some immortal like being sees this and it has a fucking aneurysm because it's like, Chimer elves, I thought you fuckers were supposed to be dead. For context, this is what Dunmer looked like before the incident.
But yeah, it's like looking at Dumber, it's like their brows have like very protruding kind of like bone structure. Their eyes are much more slanted downwards, like not vertical, but almost like a perfect diagonal. Okay, maybe not like a perfect diagonal, but an almost perfect diagonal. Halfway there. Yeah, this other one I'm looking at like looks very alien looking. Like something you might say out of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you're just trying to make Walter White.
Yeah, so like, need to make him a little bit more. What I want.
Oh man, I fucking saw a thing called like Ostra Redux Female Dumber, and it's like just one of those like hot elf mods, and I'm almost repulsed with the uncanniness of it. They Korean idolified this Dunmer.
That's
I mean,
what a lot of beauty mods do for Elder Scrolls for some reason.
honestly, I thought it was funnier way back when they had to like when people had to like make mods. They had to mod in new races just so they could have hot characters that wouldn't affect any of the other races or characters in the game.
Oh yeah, they had to mod in the Korean idols.
They had to mod in the kawaii anime elf people.
I like to think that Korean idols are their own race.
Mm-hmm. I mean, truly, Koreans are their own race.
No, I mean Korean idols as a subsect of that race.
Origin, but
you think it's makeup? You think it's makeup they caked onto them, but no, they just look like that. They're lab grown.
I mean, if you consider how the entertainment industry works in Korea, yeah, they are kind of lab grown, honestly.
I can't believe I can't believe the substance is real. It's just in Korea.
I would describe it as groomish. Like, you go to a school to learn how to be the next top Korean idol.
Oh man, I just looked back and saw the pancake face that AC made.
It looks like you're trying to make one of those characters from Duke City.
I don't know what that is.
It's a mod for Oblivion. I couldn't stream it because of copyrighted music and some nudity on the posters, but it's something. I would recommend looking it up sometime.
Alright, I'm looking up Duke City right now. Do I have to type up anything else?
Duke City Oblivion.
Okay, Oblivion, yeah, because I'm seeing a thing called Albuquerque Duke.
Bow down, bow bow.
What the fuck is this?
The character I'm trying to make, or the mod?
No, I'm talking about. I'm looking at Duke City, so I'm seeing an Argonian with a shirt saying "Jesus was a punk." I'm seeing a very modern city that looks like it's out of Gmod or something.
The city is Duke City. The shirt's in it too.
Oh man, I'm looking. Okay, so I'm looking at a lady on a motorcycle, and next to her is another lady on a horse, and they look like they're out of Second Life.
Now this character wants to ask you one question. Just one. So,
Is this a reference? I don't know.
let me get the question. Have you
I
said
heard the
thank you
elves?
once?
Oh,
he's
God.
doing dance.
Now I see it. I wouldn't have seen it otherwise, but now I see it.
Meets the Emperor once, the Emperor fucking dies.
Yes, he went to fucking Cyrodiil, and all of a sudden the gates of Oblivion opened. Coincidence?
The Emperor died right after he met him. Coincident? I guess the only thing I want to show you, the last thing, Khajiits.
I kind of like this interpretation. I kind of like how, like, they don't look like the cat people from before. They have a more lion look. I don't know what they look like originally in Oblivion. Did they look like this, or is it
more
completely
lion-like? But also different. But also, I've seen somebody fuck with the character creator to make him just look like more of a house cat than a lion.
Oh.
Like.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Oblivion Khajiit. I'm curious. Oh wow, they look goofy. Like Khajiit kind of like range widely, don't they? Between like house cat looking and like different big cats.
You can make a house cat looking one in this, and you can make a lion looking one. But also look at these hairs.
I do appreciate that this game lets you Monster Factory like different fantasy races.
Also, you can pick the spot pattern. And also,
It's a bit limited.
It is, but you make up for color picking. Like
this Khajiit would be great at a rave.
Hello, can I commission you?
Is this lore accurate? The Khajiit dyeing their fur turquoise?
This one would like to commission you, yes? $500. Yeah.
This one offers you $5 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
It fucks me up that there's so many
so
many different forms of human, and then you just have the orcs, the Khajiit, the Argonians, but you do have multiple high elves. Not high elves. You do have multiple elves, but they're a bit more different than the humans.
Nobody's held bone about the vampire snake people over in Akavir.
I don't know what those are, yeah.
It's okay, we'll never go there.
Tell me about the vampire snake people.
So in Akavir, it's like a place of like, I would say like it's more, while Tamriel's more western, Akavir's more of the eastern theme, and it has like monkey people, the vampire snake people.
Oh, this is the other continent, right?
The other continent.
Is this the place with the slug people?
Maybe? I forget if there's slug people. Also, hey, look, it kind of looks like a Skyrim Argonian almost. Speaking of, you can pick Skyrim and Oblivion like head options. Like, look at this.
Okay, the Slowed is what they're called. Oh, they're not really slowed people. They're more like amphibian.
They're Morrowind. Also, Bo, watch the horns on this.
All right. Oof. Big, spiky. Okay, the Slowed, also referred to as, they are referred to as slugmen, are an amphibious slug-like bestial race native to the Isles of Thras within the Absean Sea, well known for their mastery of necromancy. They are arguably the most hated race amongst the people of Tamriel.
Also, one thing about Argonians, watch this. You can pick a main color, a secondary color, and an accent color.
Oh, neat. Get real colorful with it. Also, you said they were from Morrowind, the Slowed?
No, that was my mistake. I think they're in the game. They're from the video game Morrowind, not the continent.
Because it's saying by game, they were only in Redguard and online.
Oh, I know what I'm confusing them for that piece of concept art. It's been a minute since Morrowind. Oh
This
yeah.
is a Slowed.
There's mods for Morrowind for Sloads? I'm 95% sure there were the Sloads and are they modded in?
Here's one from Redguard.
Oh, Redguard.
Which is the PSP one.
Oh, Redguard. It's that game is some.
I believe this one is from online, Elder Scrolls Online.
I will say it does feel like some of the lighting and some of the aesthetics feels like ESO when it comes to the lighting. Yeah, here's all the races and
Yeah, and then you just have human, and black human. Wait, can you actually go to the Redguard for a second? I think that's what they're called. Okay, what are their differences in origin?
Dragontail Mountain. Basically, you can either be like charm, wit, and the ability to turn a conversation around, and or straight from the Alakir Desert, where you get more endurance. For some reason, having a happy life means that he also gets a 50 strength.
It is kind of funny to me. It's like you have the humans and then the black humans. I assume there's black like Brens and Empire people, right?
Let's find out.
To my knowledge, I don't think there have ever been. I don't seem to recall any black characters in any other Elder Scrolls games that aren't just Redguards.
That's really kind of funny and probably a product of its time.
Horrible guy. Wait, can you make that motherfucker from Arrested Development who's like all blue?
There's a fucking Slowed mod for RimWorld?
Elder Scrolls fans, don't fuck around. They don't mess around, man.
ESCP Slowed.
Okay, character wait, what the? Okay, character idea. Okay, body tone. Okay, you can make. Oh, that looks awful. I don't want to turn that on. That looked awful.
Wait, what looked awful?
Making his skin this blue and turning tone all the way. That is like, I feel like that's like cancelable levels.
You see, if you just took away the melanin, black people would actually be blue.
Why does the lips get red? I don't want to think of.
Well, I mean, it's like complexion is like saturation, right? So it's like it makes sense.
Okay, like this isn't like when you make them like blue.
Here, we need a black person to tell me if that was black or just red.
color sliders are weird. They'll tell you all sorts. Well, it comes to like the color slider thing in like Photoshop. Like, you'll like. I've like seen like a photo of somebody and did the color picker on like Clip Studio Paint, and it's like, oh, here's like a shade of purple because you picked their shadow on accident, like a tiny pixel.
Because what color it is just lighting. It's what's like reflecting, the lighting that's reflecting.
Character idea. I make a wizard build. I make a bold and blue, and I just make a Dr. Manhattan character. I'm not gonna play.
So I tried to find an example of a black character in an Elder Scrolls game, who is not from Redguard or is not just a flat-out Redguard NPC. Somebody said there are tons, and only cited Adrienne Avenici from Oblivion, or no, from Skyrim, and I don't seem to recall her being like black. I thought she was just like dark from soot.
I don't know.
Elder Scrolls is Tamriel is a whack place. But now, we will leave here because I want to show off the gameplay. We're gonna go to my current character at Frostcrag Spire. The one I had at who was still in the prison when, oh, actually no, he was outside, who just got out of the prison last week. My Dark Brotherhood armor is broken.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have, I wanted to get right in, so
I like the look of this guy.
He's also a vampire.
That's cool.
Honestly, I ended up canceling my vampirism because it became too much of a pain in the ass after a certain point.
One thing I found out is that Deep Scorn Hollow, if you pay money, you can have a cattle you can feed on there. The problem is that in the remake, he doesn't sleep. He just stands there.
So, they gotta fix that, yeah.
The funny thing is, I looked up Adrienne Avenici, and it's like, man, irregardless of if she is black or not, most of these mods that are yassifying her definitely are not making her black.
God, I forgot how many. It's so funny where it's like when somebody latches on to you can tell when someone latches on to a specific Elder Scrolls character because they'll make them like hyper conventionally attractive. It's so funny.
This I think the most like attractive character I found in the remake was a Dark Brotherhood assassin. And her name was Antoinetta Marie.
Yeah.
Very subtle. Was she royalty, perhaps?
I think she was poor, funny enough.
Ah, so they're going for the ironic subtlety.
Also, I've made a couple spells. So far I've made,
Oh, you can make spells.
Yeah, you can. You either have to complete the Mages Guild quest, or you have to pay 3,000 gold so you can go to this tower and make them. So there's Pack Mule. It's a restoration spell where it costs Feather on Self and Fortify Strength. So my inventory, my carry weight limit is 310. I cast Pack Mule, and it goes to 520. Another one is Minor Fortify Alteration and Intelligence. There's also one called Study the Blade that just gives me 16 points in Blade. For target, unfortunately, I need to level up spells more. Because it's like weird. I've leveled up like my intel like high. It's still not being, let it be like, you don't have enough magic yet, so I'm just gonna have to farm this. But one spell I made, it's a target spell, and it is called where is it? Is it missing? There, no, it is. Insidious Spark. It does 25 points of shock damage, and then and for 2 seconds it demoralizes its target.
I do find it funny also in the the first two Elder Scrolls that Khajiit were just humans. Just with like cat-like features. They were just humans.
I'm gonna put on the armor even though it's broken. This is what my character looks like 9 times out of 10.
Wait, could you remove the hood briefly? I just want to see the comparison.
I cannot change weapons when I'm attacking? There we go.
Oh, yeah, because you were casting a spell.
But let me put it on.
Man, those flaps are really flexible.
Mm-hmm. Truth be told, after a certain point, I stopped using the shrouded armor, mainly because, like, the stat bonuses are negligible after a certain point, but more than that is that it has the consistency of sandpaper, or tissue paper. Like, it explodes on impact with anybody trying to fight you the normal way. Thankfully, it only costs 1 gold to fix them, but that's because it has no, like... It has no structure to it. It falls over at the second somebody hits it.
Granted, usually I shouldn't be fighting them traditionally. How I usually fight them is I walk up on them and I...
You see, personally, my favorite spell that I made was called Signature Kill, and it did 100 fire damage over 2 seconds, and then it would kill them instantly by me touching them.
Did they change melee at all in this game?
Actually, kind of, yes. To elaborate on that, they have effectively made it so that literally all all actions in first person are the same as they are in third person, which, you know, the average person plays the game primarily in first person. So rather than the game just being like flashing pool noodles at each other, which Skyrim kind of is if we're going to be blunt about it for a minute, most weapons actually have bespoke movesets to them, both in and out of game, which means that both in first and third person, meaning that there's actually a tangible difference in fighting styles and the kind of interactions you have with certain people based off the weapons they use.
Wait, that's the vault. I need to get to a better lit area, my living quarters.
Is it still mainly left click to attack though, and that's about it?
I mean, yes, but there's also the added benefit of the fact that you can have your shield, like, no matter what, and it doesn't have any, like, bearing or impact on your gameplay. Plus, you can always cast a spell as well. So, at the very least, it isn't just left-click to attack, but, like, you also have directional inputs. If you hold left, right, forward, or back while you're doing a power attack, it'll actually do distinct things. You can actually genuinely backstab people with daggers now. Like, it'll actually do like a backstab animation when you're like crouched and you do a hold down attack. Like, yeah, no, there are tangible differences. And it's not just for like the short sword like he's using here. There's tangible differences for like every type of weapon. So like your blunt weapons, your bladed weapons, your two-handers, your one-handers. Like so it is technically still like left click to stab, but it's not just like I mentioned before, like the pool noodle flailing at each other that you've kind of come to anticipate with Skyrim. There's a little bit more going on here.
Is it enough to make the average person not be a stealth archer?
So yes, actually, like I played through the whole game without like actually bothering to level up archery at all. And I thought it was a much more textured and fun experience, especially because it takes a while for archery to receive the benefits of stealth shotting somebody. Most times, unless you get a headshot, archery will only you can only get your stealth shot benefits from archery from getting them in the head. So like you actually have to aim on top of everything else too.
Cool, because as far as I'm aware, that I'm pretty sure most people just went with stealth archer in Skyrim.
Now here's the thing about
daggers,
stealth.
No, you can talk about this part. Go ahead.
Okay, so with when you do a sneak attack with a bow, it does a sneak attack with a bow does 3 times the damage. A sneak attack with a dagger does 8 times the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, an ideal stealth build would be having a stealth blade so you can just instantly annihilate people when you backstab them.
Also, longsword, like most longsword weapons, have a different associated stat than short swords or daggers, which means that it's actually genuinely viable to use a dagger over a longsword depending on your stats or how you spread stuff across.
Or a short sword over a long sword.
Yeah, I do also want to point out, and I feel like this is also important to bring up at some point as well, but the only real downside is that if you get to like super high end level Oblivion, where you've power leveled yourself to like 20-ish or 30-ish, then it just kind of becomes pool noodles again, because at that point most of your attacks will kill things relatively quickly.
I see.
So like it takes a while to get to pool noodles. So it means that you, at the very least, you have a more textured, like core gameplay experience in the early aughts. Like I felt near the beginning of the game, I did sincerely feel like I had to try during combat, and then when I got like crazy powerful, then I actually kind of felt that a bit more.
Doesn't this game have the thing where the world levels up with you?
Yep.
Yes.
But it just doesn't do it enough to not get you overpowered.
A bit, but like there's certain things that you can't like. There are certain skills that you get that you can't exactly like outplay or outmaneuver, I guess the word would be. There's only so much you can do about a guy slamming you with fire so hard that you explode instantly.
The concept of like the world leveling up with you has always struck me as an odd choice as a concept.
I think that's just more indicative of the design ethos that there's a bit more indicative of the design ethos and style that that Bethesda kind of has, because they want you to experience the game in a pace that best suits you. So what that means is that you're just able to go anywhere and do everything, which admittedly does have some weird implications for like certain bits, especially like in games like Fallout 3, where you have to fucking if you walk all the way to the place with all the death claws in it at level 1, it is unbelievably easy.
Yeah, apparently like the original guy that like did the difficulty whatever design choice also didn't like the scaling difficulty whenever hindsight kicked in.
Yeah.
He apparently said he didn't like it.
It kind of creates a scenario where it's like you can't really build a location that is like specifically difficult and a test of your skills. Like in like I said, if you're at a certain level in Oblivion, like you just kind of power max your way through like most scenarios. At the end of the game, I just made a spell that let me like super speed my way through literally every Oblivion gate. It was not difficult or challenging at all when I got to the end, like the end of the game, and there was nothing else to do.
So like the concept, I don't know what the Oblivion gates are, but I have heard of other people doing that.
So putting it bluntly, Oblivion gates are like did you play Skyrim at all? They're kind of like
I played Skyrim, never beat it.
They are like the fucking Draugr dungeons you go through in Skyrim, effectively.
Are they collect the keys to get to the final area?
Yeah, a little bit.
I need a better like attack live. That's mysticism. I'm trying to think of light. We're gonna need a high magnitude, enough where it would, but for like 1 second, and that's we're gonna call this farm. Some farm little illusion.
I will also say rather quickly, apologies, but I'm gonna go play some Marvel Rivals with Zaz, so I will see you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye.
My man.
All right. Now it's time to shit talk. Oh man, he's stinky.
Eh.
He stinks like the Argonians and the filthy Dunmer.
Oh, the Denver comment that can stay. For fun fact, in the events of Oblivion, they've only recently outlawed slavery in Morrowind.
Wait, in the event, so like during the time period that this game takes place, right?
Right.
Okay, what level of Cyrodiil law, of Empire law, goes on in Morrowind?
Very little to almost none.
Are they part of the Empire?
They have Empire people there, and they're chill with them, but they're mostly their own thing.
Like, okay, so an empire is like a kingdom with like multiple different groups within it, as generally. What places are part of the empire?
What place is part of that? Cyrodiil.
Is it the entire continent, or is it just particular groups?
It's most of the continent except for Black Marsh. Black Marsh, Elsewhere, and Morrowind, I think?
I'm kind of surprised Elsewhere isn't part of the Empire. Although, then again, is that part of the Aldmeri Dominion?
That's Khajiit. That's Khajiit homeland.
Yeah, are they part of the Aldmeri Dominion, or are they completely autonomous?
The Dominion hasn't reared its ugly head yet by the events of Oblivion.
Okay, I was thinking more from like the modern. Well, okay, I guess I was also thinking Oblivion. These are part of like an overall continuity, right?
Yeah, though I will say in Skyrim, Hammerfell stopped being a part of the Empire after the Aldmeri Dominion started being a thing. They're like, hey, stop worshipping like Talos, yeah, follow our orders. And Hammerfell was like, fuck you, we're just going to fight. And they kept fighting, and they pretty much broke off. Which is a part of the reason why Ulfric and everybody feels so emboldened for the Skyrim and its civil war.
Yeah, whenever like I was playing Skyrim, like I was mostly zoned out whenever it came to like the overall plot. Like they're talking about all these like factions. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. And I don't remember like what was really going on. I knew that the Aldmeri Dominion were fuckheads, but I didn't know anything about the Empire or the overall like continental politics. I didn't even know Skyrim was Elder Scrolls V for a while. I thought it was just called Skyrim.
It's the Elder Scrolls
So like,
V.
what is the deal with the Empire in Skyrim? What is going on with the Empire?
So in the Imperial City, they had like the fight with the Aldmeri Dominion. They weren't at their best because the whole Oblivion crisis happened, and they just kind of wanted to be left alone more than anything. So they signed a condition.
The Empire wanted to be left alone.
Not left alone. That's the wrong saying. I meant to say the Empire just kind of was like, yeah, we'll sign the agreement or whatever. We don't want to fight you right now. And the Aldmeri Dominion was like, we want to rule and we want to ban Talos worship.
No, Skyrim is part of the Empire?
Yeah, yes, and depending on how the Civil War goes, it may no longer be a part of the Empire.
Alright, so, wait, so were the Separatists siding with the Aldmeri Dominion?
No, they're separating because the Empire sided with the Dominion.
Oh, okay. So what's the deal with the Aldmeri Dominion? So like they're in Elder Scrolls Online, which is like a prequel to everything, if I remember correctly. But they aren't in further settings.
They aren't talked about. I don't remember. At least I don't remember if they talked about in Oblivion.
Because they are like one of the factions in Elder Scrolls Online.
I think the Elder Scrolls Online talks about the original one. Oh, The one, okay, so there's been a couple of them. I'm fact checking myself. The third, apparently, the one in Skyrim is the third Aldemary Dominion, which is colloquially known as the Thalmor. They are a group of radical Altmer supremacists on the Somerset Isles who advocated for the supremacy of various races of Mer over men in a new Merithic era. Mer being elves. And in the first one, they created it in Valenwood and elsewhere, and they briefly got into Cyrodiil and Hammerfell. After the consolidation and all that, they decided that they'd begin expanding their influence and power across Tamriel, and they first expanded into elsewhere, actually. So they ended up just taking that over first. They eventually fought a great war with the Empire, which ultimately ended with the White Gold Concordat, which is the thing that banned the Talos worship that the Altmer wrote. And the disbandment of the Blades. And right before the
They were a
Thalmor...
mercenary group, weren't they?
The Blades are a faction that is sworn to protect the Emperor and to protect Tamriel from near-apocalyptic events. For example, in this game, Uriel Septim dies. He was protected by members of the Blades. They're his, like, almost his royal guards. And when the Emperor dies, the Blades are like, alright, we need to go get the heir, secure him, make sure he's safe, and we need to stop the Mythic Dawn before they go bring back Mehrunes Dagon through the Hell Portal and end everything.
Yeah, I think I remember getting Mehrunes Dagon's dagger in Skyrim, and I was like, who the fuck is Mehrunes Dagon? I'm like, oh, he's the antagonist of Oblivion.
He's also, wait, I think I know what's, I'm gonna try something. But anyway, another thing about that is, like, yeah, Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric god of, like, destruction. How much is the scales actually doing step? So, like, the whole thing is, like, you're trying to stop the Mythic Dawn from summoning him. You're trying to get, the cult of, disbanded.
Yeah, I remember in Elder Scrolls Online, the Aldmeri Dominion's deal was, well, we believe the High Elves should rule everything, but man, those High Elf supremacists over there, those guys suck.
They are the supremacist in Skyrim on the third one.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was kind of cool. It's like, oh, cool, you're fighting the guys that will become the Aldmeri Dominion.
And I think the worst thing about all of it is, like, the Thalmor are, like, I would almost say bad, evil to the point of being almost objectively bad guys.
Is there room to say they aren't the objective bad guys?
Honestly, not really.
Like, I thought that was just their thing. They just were Nazis.
And they caused the civil war that happened. They purposely orchestrated it to weaken Skyrim on purpose. So yeah, that's thanks for that. Also, speaking of Skyrim, one thing they added to the Oblivion remake, you can see the throat of the world from here.
I don't know what that means.
The tallest mountain in Skyrim.
Could you climb that? Was that where like the hermits were?
Mm-hmm. Marthanax was at the top. At the very top was the notched pickaxe. So so it's Parthenax and the Minecraft Easter egg just kind of chilling up there.
Wait, wait, oh god, sneeze. Sneeze? Oh, sneeze. Anyway, shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, how close is Skyrim to where you are? Like, is it really close?
Oh, let me show you right now. That's Skyrim. This is the...
Oh! Oh, you're right next to... Wait, where are you?
I'm there. I'm that arrow.
Oh, okay. Wait, can you see the border of other continents from here? Or is it just Skyrim?
This is closer to Skyrim, and because of the fog...
Well, not from here, but on the map.
Yes, you can. Cyrodiil's in the middle. Hammerfell.
Oh, okay, so Cyrodiil is, like, small.
Yeah, it's, like, in the middle. It's one of the smaller ones. It's actually... Well, actually, no. It's actually this is one of the larger continents. It's just slightly scaled down due to, like, game shenanigans.
Ah, that's it. Because, like, that... Like, this map makes Cyrodiil look tiny.
Black Marsh and elsewhere just chilling. Unfortunately, there's no, like, I don't know if you can see Red Mountain from, like, the edge of, Hero Hill and the Shandal and whatnot.
I assume that's a location in Morrowind?
The Shandal's Oblivion. No, in Cyrodiil, that's right there, at Shandal.
No, I said Red Mountain.
Red Mountain, that's the volcano in all the way up in Vardenfell.
Yeah, I never played Morrowind. I have no familiarity with these proper nouns. Like, I have some familiarity with Skyrim because I played it. I have no familiarity with Morrowind outside of the bug creatures.
So, fun fact, you're in Morrowind, the game takes place on the island continent of Vardenfell. There's a mainland that surrounds it, and that's technically just Morrowind, and you do not go there at all. There is a modder that's making the entirety of it, alongside a chunk of Cyrodiil according to the old lore, and a bit of Skyrim.
Is he gonna make his own quests?
There's quests in them. There's quests, there's NPCs, there's shops. There's just chunks of them, but yeah.
And he's just making it based off of, like, design documents?
More like the books that describe the old lore, and bits of, like, how, like, the original, like, lore guy from Morrowind, Michael Kirkbride, originally described it.
Huh. Cool. Is it similar to the island, or is it different?
Morrowind? It's, like, it's a little different. Keyword being a little. I remember it's a little more, like, traditionally, it has a little bit more traditional, like, grass, but also still has a bit of the weird mushrooms. I would need to look more into the actual mainland.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, am I dealing with, like, am I dealing with Japan itself, or am I dealing with Okinawa? Which is its own kind of, like, culture, as I understand.
Also, hey, fun fact, I don't know how much skooma I have, but in the original Oblivion, you can only take 8 skooma at a time. The skooma limit is gone in the Oblivion Remake.
Scoom me up, bro. You know what? I'm gonna get scoomed up. I'm gonna go get some vodka. Be right back.
I forgot I sold all my skooma.
Wait, is skooma supposed to be a drug, or is it just alcohol?
Drugs. It's a narcotic.
I need to get my I need to renew my weed card. But yeah, I'm low on gummy, so I'm gonna go to alcohol. BRB.
I think I have an earlier save with all my skooma. I'll download that. This shit.
Good to see you. Oh, have pity, sir.
Oh no, I am not liking those temps. I am not liking those temps at all. Let's get inside.
Yeah, I don't get why people freak out every time I tell them the type of vodka I do. So, like, I got this chocolate vodka and a grapefruit vodka. And I like to mix it up a little bit, like pour them into each other, and then I dilute it with water. But people seem to think that would taste gross. I don't get it. It's like, oh yes, I had a Swedish fish and a chocolate bar. Like, why does that sound gross to people?
Come back and be seeing you.
Oh, I forgot I had this guy following me.
Yes. Oh, great and mighty Grand Champion.
You had him with you?
Can I carry your weapon? Shine your boots? Back rub, perhaps?
So why is this guy free? Like, is it an arena thing?
If you
Win
beat
some
the
competition?
arena, you become the grand champion, and this guy just becomes like a fan. Also,
he's also in Mass Effect, isn't he?
What about, say, over
and
there?
Wait, what?
No? Right here?
I think they made a guy like this in Mass Effect.
Whatever you say.
I don't admit him in Starfield as well. Like, there's a thing about making him wait and idle. You can get him to say the line.
Yes.
Damn it.
Here.
I don't know, like, sometimes if he's waiting, he'll trigger the line.
Yes.
And that's the Bayazura, Bayazura, Bayazura. It's the grand champion.
Yeah, maybe I am thinking Starfield, but there is a character in Mass Effect that's like a big fan of Commander Shepard, and he's like annoying.
Apparently, the thing about the adoring fan is I don't know if it was like this in the original, but I know in the remake, apparently he respawns.
Are you aware of the Oblivion unicorn?
I know there is a unicorn like out and about somewhere here.
Are you aware of like the deal with the unicorn?
I know it's rare. That's all I know, and that's hostile, and that's all I know.
Okay, so you know about it being hostile. You're aware that you can also get it as a mount?
Oh, I did not.
Okay.
I already have Shadow Mirror as a mount.
Can I tell you about the wackiness that is the unicorn mount?
What?
Alright, so you can get it as a mount, but if you approach it, it will attack you. So this is from what I'm going off of what I remember reading about a guy that was essentially cursed with a unicorn. I think that there's also a bug to get it to keep on following you, essentially, like whenever you fast travel. So it's like, okay, I am in combat with a bunch of enemies. My unicorn here is attacking the enemies. Oh no, because I have my weapons out, my mount is also attacking me, and it's invincible.
Oh god.
And apparently there's a bug where it's like every time you fast travel, it will appear with you. And so you just constantly have this fucking attack horse trying to go after you.
Oh, I know why I'm here.
If I can't fix it, it ain't broke. Good day.
That is a location I do wanna go to here.
Oh, is the Adoring Fan a wood elf?
Yep.
Hey, I'm curious, what do you feel about Tolkien fantasy? Do you really dig it, or are you ambivalent towards it? And I would count this as Tolkien fantasy.
It really depends. It really depends.
Where do you... Okay, wait, let me actually rephrase this. Oh, wow, what is this fucking Morrowind?
This is the Shivering Isles, which looks very similar in some areas.
Is it... Where is it in relation to where you were?
It's a Sheogorath's dimension. It's his
Oh,
version.
it's a dimension.
It's Sheogorath's Oblivion. With such lovely places like Pinnacle Road, Shallow Grave, Mad God's Boot, the Hill of Suicides.
Oh, that's a fun place. I want to go to the Hill of Suicides. Yeah, I'm aware of this guy. You know, I think everybody's aware of this guy. I think I did something with him in ESO, but I also did his thing in Skyrim. I know about the Wabbajack.
His place is split in half. One half is Mania, and the other half is Dementia.
That's fun.
And Mania is a more brighter, more like saturated location. And Dementia is the more outwardly like gloomy area. Like this is the Mania entrance to the main town. Oh, this is the Mania side of the main town, New Sheo.
Was this basically the same place in Skyrim, or did his dimension look different in Skyrim?
You don't go here in Skyrim. He talked about this place, but you never go here.
Oh, because I remember it being in like a foggy area. Where are you whenever you meet him in Skyrim?
Inside the mind of Pelagius the Mad.
Oh. Yeah, it's always weird with these with like the Elder Scrolls games to me. It's like, okay, the first game you could go to all the places, if I remember correctly,
Procedurally generated, but yes.
And it's like, I don't know if that's the same for Daggerfall. And then they start to section it off into these micro places and start giving them their own story. But then it's like, okay, the fourth game, you're going to the main place. And then you're going to the next, and then the next place you go is like bumfuck, I don't know, fucking poverty Scandinavia.
The other thing about Skyrim is like going to Morrowind and old lore. It was more like Hyperborea kind of esque.
Hyboreal,
where it's
that's the word.
Where it's these like barbarians and this like these tents and super cold. And like it was more, and even of Oblivion there were hints of this. It's like my village in Skyrim. It's more like it's more barbarians and like stuff, and then they turned it into like Scandinavia in Skyrim, the game.
Because it feels like it's a weird pacing of, all right, we're starting big, then we go small to some fucking weird island area, and then we're going big again. We're going to the main empire, and then we're going to the boondocks.
That reminds me of a rant I'm about to go beforehand. Here's what the Dementia side of town looks like.
I like it. It's cool.
It's the more dark, gloomy area.
I'm curious what this looked like in the original. I feel like there was a lot more bloom.
A lot more... Oh, there's definitely a lot more bloom. A little bit more color.
I fucking hate the bloom in the original Oblivion. Like, every time I fucking look at the original Oblivion, I just go, ugh. Oh, my eyes don't like what it's looking at. This feels wrong.
Would you say that you prefer the aesthetic of the remake where they toned it down by like a lot?
I feel like I can look at this without issue. Was that a fucking like fantasy skimpy lady?
Yes, the Dark Seducers and the Golden Saints dress like this.
What the fuck is that, dude?
The average inhabitant of this place. It's best not. If you talk to them, you will.
Are they just dudes that Sheogorath abducted?
They're the people who are living in the main town in Sheogorath's realm, so they're gonna be a little off, I would say. Let's go to the tap house. Let's get a
Yes, I'm Murine. If you have any secrets, I'm the one to tell.
I can't tell if that's a male voice actor or not.
Family. Unless they're good ones, that is.
It's the girl. It's the woman who voiced the. Hang on, let me read that again.
Looking, looking. Always looking I am. It's gone. All of it. Gone. Have you seen any of it? Any of my things? The others. They think I'm stealing, but I just want my things back. Anvil is all in an uproar. First,
How the fuck do you know about that?
Goodbye.
You smell worse than that cat, Bisha. Get away.
I will
from
say
me.
the lip flaps look fucking weird, like the lip syncing.
He's still around. I've seen him skulking like the filthy cat he is. Goodbye.
Sickly Bernice, proprietor. Don't get too close now. You might catch what I have. Well, it seems I'm dying. Yes, these may be my last days in the Shivering Isles. That is, unless someone like yourself... Oh, well. Leaving me?
Man, the fucking lips, the lip movements are fucking whack.
It was way whacker in the original. I'll say that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have just expected it to be mouth moving up and down.
Actually, I think it is his mouth moving up and down, but there's
Like they are moving all of their muscles dramatically in their face. I think they're moving muscle they don't have.
Oh, Oblivion just does that. In fact, like the whole thing with Oblivion is look at our face technology. Like, let me go to persuade this person.
Errol has a big problem. Errol owns... I'm
Like it looks like they're moving muscles in the chin that they shouldn't have. Oh, this is a cool like way of doing something.
Is that so?
Not the this is how you persuade them.
Was this also in the original?
Yep.
Not.
Oh, that's neat. I haven't seen something like this before.
You have to see what they like off their facial expressions, what they don't like, and you have to make sure the big bar goes into what they like and click that, and then the little bar goes into what they don't like and you click that. So
yeah, eat your heart out, fucking LA Noir.
Oh, please, I'm embarrassed. But is that so? What a great story. Get away from me. You should be well done. What a wonderful
Was Shilgoroth also Morrowind?
yeah. You didn't see him, but he was there. He was like, hey, there's this fork of horripilation. You have to kill this creature with a fork, and I'll give you something.
Wait, you didn't see? Wait, I'm seeing a thing with him as a statue.
Yeah,
I am seeing a model. Is that like unofficial?
Can you show me what the model looks like? Because he's only a statue, from what I remember.
Here's a model.
That's Oblivion. That's OG Oblivion.
That's Oblivion?
Yeah, that's OG Oblivion.
Man, that's way more polygonal than I'm used to seeing Oblivion characters. I thought he was a Morrowind character.
Oh, it'd be way. Do you want to go what that place looks like in the remake right now?
Sure. Oh wait, okay. I found another image of him, and maybe it's because in that image I originally showed you, it didn't have the fucking bloom. This one has the fucking bloom.
Look at the sky.
That's cool.
Very purple.
Wait, AC, I'm curious. Is that first image I showed you? Did they just remove the bloom? Because I found the second one and it has bloom.
I think the first one's at day and the second's at night.
You mean that in reverse?
No,
the first one's at night.
I think the first one is at day because they don't have the torches going. Or the
is that why the bloom is there?
Yeah. Also, this is what that exact area looks like in the remake.
Oh, they gave him like a beard. Like they made him look like an old man.
An
older man.
Older man. But yeah, this is how he sits
Shoo! Go! Be gone! Things to do.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, they kind of make him a silver fox in Skyrim. This, he just looks like an old dude.
I think that's not until later.
What does he look like in ESO? Oh, he looks much younger, but still kind of get that silver fox look.
It's also implied that in Skyrim he might be you from Oblivion.
What? How?
The Shivering Isles DLC has a quest where it makes sense.
Does he like? What?
It's during
Does that make sense?
It's a long story, but it kinda does.
Is it like you take his name?
Yes.
It's a lot more complicated. And it involves an event known as the Jigalog.
The what?
The Jigalog. What would be like a Shivering Isles version of an apocalyptic event. Complicated, giant night, stuff like that.
Okay, wait, I'm seeing this one guy saying, is it true that the character in Oblivion becomes Sheogorath later? Did you mean Morrowind or Oblivion?
I'm in Oblivion. I'm pretty sure I said Oblivion.
Oh, I thought you said Morrowind.
Oh no, that guy's just gonna be just wandering like the world immortal.
Okay, I don't know enough about Oblivion to say much, but it's like I was thinking, like, aren't you like supposed to be like a reincarnation of like a dark elf god in Morrowind?
You are in Morrowind. In Oblivion, Oblivion, I would say, is the only recent of the 3 recent Elder Scrolls game where you're just a guy.
Okay, I'm gonna read this thing. Okay, I guess spoilers for whoever cares for Shivering Isle. I don't know. In the Shivering Isles expansion, you find out. Wait, was that was an expansion for Skyrim? You said?
Yeah.
How much? So Shivering Isles is like this map, right?
Right. Hang on, let me.
What is that expansion?
That's this map. Hang on, let me open up. Because for some reason OBS is not showing the chat. I need to go double check it manually to see if I haven't missed anybody.
I'm gonna look at the trailer for this expansion. I'm curious now before I read off that forum.
It's the main place I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know how you make an entire expansion out of this seemingly kind of small area.
Oh god damn it, Twitch. Oblivion.
Oh wait, it's Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I thought it was Skyrim Shivering Isles. Wait, sorry, is it an expansion for Skyrim or Oblivion? Sorry, I thought you said Skyrim.
Oblivion.
Alright, I misunderstood.
Alright, cool, I haven't missed anything.
So wait, are you playing essentially the expansion right now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so this wasn't native in the original Oblivion.
Nope. This is an expansion.
Okay, that changed. Okay, I was under the impression it was like this was part of the base game, and then we made an expansion. Well, actually, I thought you were saying it was an expansion to Skyrim. So I was like, man, this seems like a small place to make an expansion. Well, I guess I can see what the place looked like in the original. Oh yeah, there's that bloom. Every character must radiate light.
Not in the remake.
All light must make the characters look incredibly blurry.
The only like weird lighting thing we have in the remake is mandatory ray tracing.
Let's get this over with.
Also, there's a new thing here, a new that in the Shivering Isles called Flesh Atronachs.
Oh, wait, is that these guys?
No, they summoned one earlier.
Oh, dang, I wasn't looking. I was looking at this trailer.
So
So wait, is there like a dungeon on this place?
there's a couple dungeons in this one.
All right, so now I can see why it's like more of an expansion. Then again, I don't really know how big like these areas are like on the ground. Just the map makes it look small. Maybe like the map just makes it look small, and it's actually much bigger than I realized.
It probably doesn't help that I've maxed out my movement speed, and I can and I'm like going into acrobatics, and I'm just like basically zooming as I'm jumping up these There we go.
The official expansion for Oblivion 2006 Game of the Year. Almost 20 years ago.
I mean, this game literally came out 20 years ago, I think.
2006 Game of the Year, so 1 year off.
I thought it came out in 5.
Maybe it, okay, maybe it got the 2006 Game of the Year and came out in 2005. I don't know.
The game in 2006 is the Game of the Year edition, I think, and 2005 was when the game originally came out.
I was just reading off what that one trailer said, so I don't know.
Yes,
Anyway.
this was back in the day when games got Game of the Year. They would have a version that just came with all the DLC.
Yeah, I'm now curious. All right, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, March 20th, 2006.
Oh yeah, I misremembered. But yeah, 19 years old.
When did you first play Oblivion? I assume you played the original.
I want to say it was like in 2010.
What got you interested in trying it out?
I had a copy of it lying around.
Was it your dad's?
I think it was a friend of his that just gave him his copy.
Because, like, for me, I did not know, like, whenever I first heard about Skyrim, I didn't know this was a series. I had never heard of the Elder Scrolls before. And apparently, it was the biggest thing ever. Being born in 1997 is fucking weird. You get reruns of all your shows, all your cartoons, change art styles. And you get to partake in something that's like already midway through. It's like just at the very beginning of its mainstreamness.
Who's there? Who's there?
I remember being a child and seeing some some person that was like the kid of a friend of my parents playing Gears of War. Anyway, in the going off of this forum to get context to the Gigalog or whatever, in the Shivering Isles expansion, you find out that the current Sheogorath is actually the Daedric Prince Gigalog. Gigalog threatened the other Daedric princes, so they turned him into Sheogorath. However, every 1,000 years or something, the Grey March occurs, and Sheogorath becomes Gigalog again, and is allowed to invade the Shivering Isles. The hero Kavach, your Oblivion character, gets involved as part of the Shivering Isles and defeats Gigalog. This breaks the curse on him, and allows him to stay a Gigalog instead of becoming Sheogorath. And then the hero Kavach is named the new Sheogorath. And so that means Sheogorath that you meet in Skyrim is actually your Oblivion character. Not only by the events that happen, but from all the references that he says during that quest. Somebody says, that's the interpretation, yes. Another person says, you're half right, OP, on the cusp. The best way to explain it is this passage from the Book of the Dragonborn. Because of this connection with the emperors, however, the other significance of the Dragonborn has been obscured and largely forgotten by all but scholars and those of us dedicated to the service of the Blessed Talos. Who was Tiber Septim? Very few realize that being Dragonborn is not a simple matter of heredity, being the blessing of Akatosh himself. It is beyond our understanding exactly how and why it is bestowed. Those who become emperor in the light, man, this is going on. It's not that long though. In the light of Dragonfires are, and thus, wait, sorry, I think I read that wrong. Dragonfires are surely Dragonborn. The proof is in the wearing of the amulet and the lighting of the fires. But were they Dragonborn and thus able to do these things, or was doing the sign of the blessing, or was the doing the sign of the blessing of Akatosh descending upon them? All that we can say is sorry, words are getting mixed up. All we can say is that it is both and neither a divine mystery. To sum up, he is the COC, and yet he isn't the COC. What is the COC?
Champion of Cyrodiil.
Alright. Both answers are correct. What was left of the COC was absorbed by the Shivering Isles, thus becoming Sheogorath. Yet the COC exists in the Isles. That underlined part of the Book of the Dragonborn is the best explanation for the situation concerning mantling. So like, is it like so it's like part of the COC was Sheogorath, or was all of him? What?
It is up to interpretation.
All right, that's what we're going with, huh?
It's either it's a part of him or that's just him.
I'll be real. I think the idea that the Sheogorath from Skyrim is the Oblivion character is a little lame sounding. It seems like a downgrade. It seems like the downgrade of being the cool fantasy hero to becoming kooky weirdo. It is one way to look at it, but it is not canon that it happens. For example, Michael Kirkbride doesn't believe that it is true, but he kind of hates the Shivering Isles DLC. It is up to your interpretation, whatever personal headcanon you want. Bethesda hasn't and probably won't ever say that it is absolutely true or not. I think it's a little bit of a lame idea, I'll be real.
For me, the only thing is, like, if you pick, like, a beast race character, and the champion of Kavach, like, Sheogorath shows up, and he's, like, one of the more humanoid people.
Oh, you see, that's part of the joke. I guess. Probably. I don't know. I assume that the cat people and the lizard people have their own gods that look like cat people and lizard people. It just happens all the important ones are the humans.
The history is the Argonians one. Also, it's kind of funny that the Thalmor are being the way that they are about stuff. Considering that there is literally a prophecy that every time, like, anytime that, like, a group of elves get up to some evil shit, there will be a human that will come along and just wipe them out. This has happened a couple times.
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that? I was looking at what Gigalog was. What? Can you just repeat that?
So, I find it funny that the Thalmor are doing what they're doing. Because, like, there's also there's been a couple, like, there's a prophecy that, like, anytime the elves get up to some shit, or like an elf race gets up to some shit, a human will be a chosen one. of like either Akatosh or whatever, and he's gonna come kick the elves' ass and put them in their place.
I
And
find it
this has
funnier that
happened
the
a couple times, and the Thalmor's doing it anyway.
I find it kind of funny that the chosen ones of the dragon god. What the fuck is that thing?
It's a Grummite. They're the Shivering Isles creature.
That the chosen ones of the dragon god are not the fucking lizard people. It's the monkeys.
Oh, yeah. The Akatosh is a weird one.
Also, I did not expect the Jigalog to look like, well, I guess he's not the Jigalog, it's just his name, to look like a fucking, like, golem? Like an armored golem? I assume you know what Jigalog looks like, right?
Yeah, I know it's Jigalog.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't spoiling anything, but it's like, yeah, he just looks like a cool armored dude. That's not what I expected Sheogorath to look like in his true form.
I mean, wasn't the whole thing that Jigalog was the god of was like a god of order, and as a punishment, they jumped him and made him into a god of chaos, made him into Sheogorath, the god of chaos.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Is that his deal?
I think that's his deal. I think it's also part of the reason why the Shivering Isles is split into halves.
Yeah, it's sick looking. It's just not what I expected.
Also,
Sauron-looking motherfucker.
There's also the zealots that are going around worshipping Jigalog.
I'll also be real, I didn't expect him to look like that because his name is fucking Jigalog. That's a very silly sounding name. It's very hard for me to take somebody seriously whenever they have Jiggle in their name. Is that like pronounced correctly? Jiggle vlog?
I've heard NPCs say it before, like Jigalog before.
It's a very funny sounding name.
Dear video game designers, if you make a quest item have weight in a game with carry weight, I will steal something from your house.
I will fill your backpacks with dumbbells. So I take it that who was that character that's the knight with the music video, the fan music video?
Pelennor Lightsnake, the guy who killed all the aliens. That's the reason why you don't see any, and it's just a bunch of ruins and Oblivion.
Is that one of the chosen ones?
Yep, that's the example I was talking about, the Tale of Pelennor Lightsnake. In fact, in the Knights of the Nine DLC, the big thing is you get his fucking armor.
Yeah, is there a quest where you see his like ghost or something?
That might be Knights of the Nine.
I wasn't sure if that was a fan mod or something. Because, he sounds like a very generic knightly dude. I kind of expected, like, people were portraying this dude like the Doomslayer. I did not expect him to sound like just a guy.
I mean, it's Elder Scrolls, so all, like, people like that will sound like just a guy. But
he just sounded like a gentlemanly guy, like, ah, yes, we will take it to the foul enemy or something like that. I don't quite remember what he sounded like, but that's how I remember him sounding like. I'm gonna see if I can find a video of the quest with him. I'm pretty sure that was official.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Bethesda gave him like a weird normal sounding voice. Bethesda would be the type. Even though he is more of a Doomslayer.
Where are my manners? Must get into my professional tone. Welcome to Zedillion. I'm the dungeon caretaker, Killaban Nirendil.
Like most male Imperials, Pellinol was voiced by Wes Johnson.
Yeah, because in the original Oblivion, every like male Imperial was voiced by the same guy, which is like 90% of all the guys.
Okay, Knights of the Nine.
I wouldn't be shocked if the remake gave him a different voice.
Is this meant to be like a King Arthur thing? Or is like the Nine Knights or whatever?
It's the Knights of the Nine Divines. Talos.
Oh, you meet Talos?
No, you don't meet any of the Nine Divines personally. So there's Knights.
You good?
Yeah, I'm looking
Oh, okay, you're searching something up.
Yeah, searching a guide real quick. Yeah, the nine Divines are you don't mean it, they're like Akatosh, Talos, they're basically the Aegis, which is I want to say Debella is one, Stendar's one for sure, and all that.
Are there Elder Scrolls like actual books, like books that I can get at the book? Well, maybe not the bookstore, but like the digital bookstore.
I do not know. All of them would be written post Skyrim, so they wouldn't really be a lot about the old lore.
Really, they would all be written post Skyrim.
All of them came out after Skyrim, so even if they talk about events before it, it still has,
Like, if I was a mega fan, there is no, like, extended universe I could get into.
Nothing I can think of. Like, the most is there's a book called The Infernal City, but I cannot speak for the quality of the book because I've only just now heard about it.
Oh, yeah, I found the part with Pellinol. Yeah, I'm gonna deafen myself to hear this guy. Okay, I kind of misremembered how he sounded. They kind of do a cool voice for Pellinol. It's still not really what I expected. This is timestamped. I just gave it to you. Maybe to look at later. This is by The Cantina. Oblivion Knights of the Nine, Episode 1. Am I a Worthy Knight? Timestamp 1528. He sounds kind of cool.
So there's the aliens, and what the aliens are, they're the old ancient elves in, like, Tamriel, mainly Cyrodiil. They were enslaving a bunch of people, torturing them, also maybe a little sadistic, and
It sounds like we need to kill them all.
Palinol Whitesnake stepped up to the plate, and he did just that.
I fucking love ethnic cleansing. God damn.
Yeah, the aliens were no more.
The men, the women, and children, get rid of them all.
And they
Did he
survived.
kill the children?
I do not know.
I hope he did. What a hero. We love child killer Pelinal Whitestrake. Is it Whitestrake?
Apparently, it's like he was, it said that he was manifested into Nirn and, by, like, carried by, several forces of change and even Sithis.
Don't people like to say that he was a cyborg because of some dumb thing about him having, like, advanced something?
That might be someone else. I know in The Last Living Dwemer is straight up a cyborg.
Because, like, that's why in that fucking cool opera animation, he has an arm cannon. As people like to say, like, in one of his legends, he came with, like, futuristic armor, but it was probably just normal knight armor. But people took that as he had cyborg armor. Or some shit.
And then armors. It's been a minute since I looked. I remember knowing all of that a lot more, but it's been years since I looked into the Tale of Pelinal.
Alright, so I looked up Pelinal Whitestrake Cyborg, and the first thing I get is on Reddit. Pelinal Whitestrake is not a cyborg. Okay, wait, I want to read this up. This is the most ridiculous fudge Muppet slander for the best to find Shezarine. Just because he had a killing light in his arm, which is a Adric. I don't know if this is meant to say Daedric. Just didn't.
No. Adric, that's different. That's different from Daedra. Adrid are like the light. Oh, think of Adra as like light, and Daedra is dark.
Okay, they're angels, essentially. They're demons. Okay, which is an Adric spear from ESO. Doesn't mean he's a robot. He is a sorcerer, and he is a literal Et Ada. Do you know what an Et Ada is? It is E-T apostrophe A-D-A.
They're also called the original. I have to look this up. It's been a minute.
In Oblivion, I use Cold Touch constantly. That's a bright white killing light. Doesn't make my character a robot, and doesn't qualify them as anything other than a magic user. The idea that because he time travels, he must be a robot is insane. Does that make the Elder Scrolls themselves mechanical in nature as well? Or Alduin? Or the Vestige? Or Meridia? Or Lorcan himself? In ESO, time traveling is actually revealed to be magical in origin, not mechanical. Glenumbra Moors shows us that. Pelinal is described countless times as a sorcerer. Don't forget that. Divine Spirit has a conversation while missing a head. That also doesn't qualify him as a mechanical. It means he's a literal spirit from Aetherius. He is Lorcan, not a robot. And he isn't Lorcan, he isn't Shezarine, and that's fine, because it means he's a manga gech. Either way, still not a robot. And if you think Shezarine is not Lorcan, then you need to look up the definition of incarnation. Sorry, but I read so much info about Shezarines, Lorcan, Pelinal, and there is clear misinformation from sensationalists that do not have a rooted basis in the lore that we love. Go off king, for real. It is pure subjectivity that's been vomited out without actual counter argument that prevents the whitewash of the great defender of mankind. Man, I chose the right voice for this. Has ever seen. The only known mechanicals are Dwemer in origin. Spirits wouldn't touch those. I'd love to debate this when it's not 2 a.m., and I will be very soon. Post your thoughts / hatreds about Pelinal equals robot. It's far more likely that he's Cadwell, quite frankly. / rant. Have a good night, folks. Okay, did it come clear that I was just going more and more nerd with that voice as I
Yeah.
was I didn't even intend that. That just naturally manifested as I went, man, proper noun, proper noun, proper noun.
It doesn't help that a lot of lore, some of it may contradict each other, because there's some old because like real life history, not all of it's accurate. There's some old lore that may not be accurate. The stuff Michael Kirkbride wrote right before he left, that Bethesda retconned some of it because they thought it was too weird.
Now, question: was Kirkbride the good? Was he like the better lore, or do you think Bethesda did better? Is the weird better?
I kind of like the weird. There's a bit of a character to it. I do like some of the lore. Like, here's the thing:
Kirkbride the one that made it like that did like a weird meta lore thing about the Elder Scrolls? If you read them, you realize you're in a video game or some shit. I forget the specifics.
I think that's Kirkbride shenanigans. That's Kirkbride. I will say my favorite bits of lore post Kirkbride are the Oblivion gates, the Argonians just bum rushing them, and that's how they beat the Oblivion crisis.
That's funny.
I think that's pretty good. I like that. And I think another piece of lore is Saint Jueb is kind of funny to think about. So
Saint Jueb?
There's a guy on the boat you're in called Jueb in Morrowind. And in Morrowind, there's these creatures called cliff racers. And because of the dice roll combat and that most weapons cannot reach them, they are impossible to hit and they will immediately kill you. Nobody liked these things. These things were, and Bethesda made lore to where Jueb went to Morrowind and just killed them all.
Morrowind killed. Wait, sorry, what killed them all?
Jueb himself, single-handedly.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Jueb was like a group of things, like a race.
No, he's just a guy. He's one guy.
Just a guy. Yeah, like I now to be fair, what I read was from the Elder Scrolls lore Reddit, so it's like it makes sense. I'm not gonna understand most of this, and it's gonna have a bunch of crazy names. Whenever my main source of Elder Scrolls lore is, I played some Skyrim in ESO.
The iceberg runs deep.
Dude, I've also gotten a little bit of lore from Osmosis, just a tiny bit. Like I've heard some of the crazy shit. I have no memory of the crazy shit outside of going, Jesus fucking Christ, what the actual hell?
Morrowind is entire.
Give me the craziest shit. Like I want, like, just give me something random from the deepest part of the iceberg that you know.
There's the Durug, there's the everything in the dream of the sleeping god, the Vivek
That's
penis.
The one. Talk about the one. Talk about the dream of the sleeping god.
Oh, don't we not talk about the Vivek penis spear and just talk about that? All right.
I want to remember the dream, because the dream of the god or whatever is the thing I remember is the what the fuck.
So
talking about aliens, talking about spaceships, I think.
So it is implied that, according to that this is the Kirkbride side of things.
That's what I figured.
So there's an entity called the Godhead. It is the only known title of the Supreme Being, which is responsible for the existence of Erebus. Erebus basically being the name of our universe of the Elder Scrolls universe.
All right.
This entity is said to be in a state of unending slumber, and during this time, it unconsciously manifested Arborus from its dreams. When a mortal becomes aware of this cosmic truth, they are said to achieve one of two states depending on the individual's willpower. Chim. Oh God, Chim. Oh God.
Tell me about Chim. I want to know.
The state of which one may become a lucid dreamer within the Godhead's dream, or zero sum, an occurrence in which the immortal will become erased from existence. And I think the
That's not that crazy.
And I think the implication was the Dwemer, when they did the Heart of Lorcan, they all had the zero sum, and they just got erased, and that's what happened.
I kind of like that. That's kind of really cool.
That they all became aware that they were in the dream of the sleeping godhead, and this truth just wiped them, and that's why they all vanished.
That's fun. I like that.
All right, but this isn't even scratching the surface of Chim.
Okay, scratch the surface for me.
Let me get past this guy.
All right.
And so I get to the pause menu. All right, Chim. I'm wrong. It's pronounced Kim.
Okay.
And Daedric script spelt has a bunch of symbols. It's a state of which one can break free of all known laws and the corruptions of Oblivion. What makes Kim fucked up is that there is a post-Kirkbride explanation to it as well, which also kind of makes it messy. It allows the user to return to a state before the mingling of Anu and Padome and manipulate Erebus how they please. Kim is often associated with love, which seemingly connects to the concept of God actually being love. The word...
That's stupid. That's the Bethesda one?
I don't know. Erebus is the Kirkbride one. And this, keep in mind, associated.
I don't want love to touch godhood. I feel like that's stupid.
It is. There's all. Oh boy, I haven't even started.
I like cynical godhoods.
And the word of El Nofex language translates rough to royalty. Yada yada. Kim is the final stage of the Sigic endeavor, which can only be achieved by viewing the tower, which encompasses the universe, while keeping one's own individuality in its presence. This is post-Bethesda. The tower stuff is... Is the tower stuff post-Kirkbride? I want to say the tower is one of the weird Kirkbride-isms that Bethesda kept.
I assume, like, you can achieve this state of awareness by reading the Elder Scrolls?
Kinda. I mean, you read them as the Dova, and you read a couple of them, and you don't get any of this.
Like, I thought you, like, I thought it was, like, just, you know, I assume it's somewhere in there.
The Elder
It's like the scrolls are relatively large, I imagine.
The scrolls could, it's weird. According to, like, post-Kirkbride, the Elder Scrolls have certain knowledges. Like, for example, some of the Elder Scrolls in Skyrim tell you about the location and whereabouts of Ariel's bow and how to effectively use it.
Like, I remember a thing is, like, you can go blind if you look at them for too long.
Yeah, that's also post-Bethesda. That's, post-Kirkbride. The tower is a secret structure of Erebus. The wheel turned is allegedly discovered by Lorcan during the creation, and is claimed by Vivek and Mankar Cameron to be a prerequisite for Kim. The Erebus may be structured like a wheel with the 8 gift limbs of Sithith. Oh. Then leaving the 60. Oh, God.
Word.
The tower is something. I'm not even gonna worry about the tower. Let's just...
The tower seems irrelevant. I don't particularly care unless it's necessary.
Once a Kim is achieved, people experience a state in which time is bent both inward and outward into a shape that is always new, as well as an incomprehensible sense of the Godhead. One who achieves Kim is able to observe the tower without fear and reside in it. Kim is possibly the 5th step of the walking ways, whatever the fuck that is.
I see, when does this ever, like, is this such a thing in one of the in-game books, or is this just some shit that they wrote down in a document?
Both. In Morrowind, your whole thing is that you're the Nerevar, and you have access to Kim. So instead of being like the Dovahkiin with his shouts, your power is essentially, in simple terms, is to save and reload the game. That is your ability in Morrowind.
Okay, are you aware that you are a god essentially?
It is implied that you are, but there's no dialogue where you say that. I don't think. I could be wrong.
Okay. Cool. Wait, so do they mention, is the Godhead ever a thing mentioned in the games? At all?
I wouldn't, definitely not in fucking Skyrim. Alright. It
really sounds like the important shit's in Morrowind.
It is the Godhead is something that is mainly talked about by Michael Kirkbride.
Okay, so this was stuff in his fucking personal Bible, probably.
He also made a comic book. No, not a comic book. I think it was like a light novel. Or it was a novel. I thought it was a comic because there's the illustration on the front. But it was called Coda. It was essentially, the idea was that it was his interpretation of the Elder Scrolls, but what it would look like in the far, far future.
Yeah?
I haven't read any of it.
What's this called?
Coda, C-O-D-A. No, C-0-D-A. Is an unofficial book written by Michael Kirkbride set in the 5th era, far away from the Elder Scrolls.
64 pages, that's not a lot.
It was never completed. Only the script was finished, not the illustrations. It was going to be a part of a larger Elder Scrolls fanfiction project by Kirkbride that would provide conclusions to several stories and themes that began in Morrowind. And one of the core ideas of Coda was blurring the lines between canon and fanfic, promoting the idea that since the Elder Scrolls games are both highly moddable and built around the fantasy of playing your own character, all playthroughs of the games and all Elder Scrolls stories told by the players would be considered equally valid to the Bethesda published lore.
Okay.
It's... Do you see it? Do you see what people mean when, like, this shit goes, like, incomprehensibly
deep? I
deep?
knew it did. Like, I thought I remember there being something about spaceships. Even now I'm reading, like, Coda is in the far distant future of the late 5th era, where an apocalyptic event known as the landfall forced the remaining inhabitants of Narn to take refuge on the moon of Massar. There's spaceships, aren't there, in this setting? Somehow?
Kinda. It's... weird. Let me look at this one. That has a bunch of words on it.
It has a bunch of words on it.
It's an iceberg, but
It has a whole lot of bullshit.
it's like a wall of text on this iceberg. Instead of like random entries, it's a wall. Okay, the top one. Companions, werewolves, the Sigic Order. Khajiits are technically elves. The hero Kavacha Gorath. Maik the Liar. Forsworn Conspiracy.
It turns out Mike the Liar was like the true Godhead all along.
There actually is some people who think he's the Godhead.
That's really funny. It's like he's like actually the OC of the God. He's the self-insert.
Like, you said that right when I saw, like, lore of someone as, like, the Godhead, and they used an image of Maik the Liar.
That's really funny.
Goblin... Okay, so do you know about the Goblin armies in Oblivion?
I watched a bit of that video, yes. The secret mechanic that had to be modded back in.
Also, there's a glitch with this one thing where you have to protect this farm from goblins. But there's a glitch that happens, and it's still in the remake, where it's just spawning like 5 or 15 of them. It spawns like 100 of them.
Cool. Kill them all. Those goblins.
So it like goes from like, oh, I'm protecting this farm to holy shit, I'm playing Elder Scrolls Vermintide. Like it goes to like, there's a chance it just goes from like kill this and kill that to fucking Vermintide. How did Daggerfall get its name? Let me read a bottom entry of this. Some of these are joke entries, like they're always like a joke entry in these icebergs. The blind god, watch the sky. That's a creepypasta. That shouldn't be in here. I'm here for the lore. That's like a creepypasta about a creepy mod.
So what did this have to do with Aldmeri Dominion taking like manipulating the Empire to get some fucking bumfuck nowhere under their control in the north?
Essentially, they're kind of stupid because there will eventually be a manifested prophecy guy that will go wipe them out and kick their ass super
Let's
hard.
make that Elder Scrolls 6. I want that to be Elder Scrolls 6.
I was thinking they showed off like a grassy area, so they weren't gonna do elsewhere in Blackmarsh. So I was thinking that Elder Scrolls 6 was going to be the fight against Seth Almor, and that would make the most sense.
I want to kill those fucking knife ears.
Let me load.
They had it good for too long. Also, so I read in r/gaming that there are spaceships in TES lore. Is this true? And somebody says there are spaceships in the conventional sense. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. The easy example is to give is Battlespire from the game Battlespire.
Oh,
or
God.
the Sunbirds of Alinor mentioned in PGE3, wherever the fuck that is. What the fuck is PGE3?
Oh, okay. Dwarves are dwarven metal.
The Sunbirds are simultaneously actually spaceships and literal birds made of sun stuff.
Toddhead. There's an entry on here called Toddhead.
So is that a type of fan?
It's a portmanteau of Todd, Howard, and Godhead.
Oh.
Also, there's also something that was really interesting. Hang on, I'll remember it. The whole like Fargots. Oh, come on. Fargots ring. Also, I think this is in Oblivion. So trolls are supposed to be like these creatures that go like, rah, and they don't really have intelligence.
Yeah?
There's a couple, I think there's 1 or 2 Easter eggs of trolls writing of ending their own lives and writing notes about it.
Oh?
In Oblivion.
Oh?
The letter says, "Me worst troll ever. Nobody pay bridge toll. Me not scary enough." And you find it on an orc. No, you find it on the corpse of a troll underneath a bridge. Drowned.
Oh?
So that implies that that some may have a level of sentience, if it's not just Bethesda having a goof or a gaff, or both.
You see, that troll was cursed with higher intelligence.
Oh,
and he hated it.
Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about. Do you know Argonians in Blackmarsh, because of the history, can canonically change their gender?
No, I did not know that.
If they go to the history, they can either, they can get their gender changed. So, that's why in Morrowind, the women, have more, magic inclined stats, and the men have more, acrobatic stats. I think that's why the origins are there, because I think Oblivion still had it, to where the different, like, sexes originally had different stats. And the Argonian explanation was that whenever they felt like pursuing like the magical arts and more scholarly pursuits, they'd go for like the more like feminine phase. And when they want to practice the arts of battle and combat and hunting, they go for the masculine. So they just swap every now and then.
Well, the women had to be good at something. Am I right, bros?
So the Argonians changed their gender like in Black Marsh.
That's funny.
There's also like, it's funny, I saw a meme and there's like a thing where it's like understanding Dark Souls lore, it's a tiny brain, and the bottom two are like they're like Elder 40K Elder Scrolls, and then I knew this was from the Two Best Friends play because Kirby was at the bottom. I'm like, oh, I know who made this one. Let's see. Tigers, Guar.
Wait, what is the subject we're on right now? Because I said something about spaceships, but I feel like we got away from that.
Gender Tree and Black Marsh. They can... Also, I'm looking at this. The space. I'm looking at the fucking rabbit hole. There's one that suggests that Haskell, Shigarat's assistant, is the real Mad God. Sotha's last words. True Nords are all bandits.
Oh?
I think that's because all the Nords in Morrowind that act more like Nords are bandits. And in Skyrim, there's like a larger bandit like problem than there is in like Oblivion almost.
Also, I do want to go into the one thing from the Reddit post or reply asking from the guy asking about spaceships. A lot of the answers thus far just throw out more confusing terms without addressing the base meat of your question. So let me take a swing at it. Yes, there are spaceships. They are generally not the use engine to propel themselves through the atmosphere sort, but instead utilize teleportation, obscene amounts of magicka, or other such arcane means to move into space. In the ES universe, what we consider space is mostly Oblivion. An empty void in Oblivion, there are bodies of coherent landmass. These are various Daedric realms, as well as the moons and other assorted celestial bodies, which were created in a variety of ways. There are also Dwemer airships. Those are actual flying ships. Once can be found in Solstheim expansion for Morrowind, and you can also find a small chunk of it in the Dragonborn expansion for Skyrim. It's a small Dwemer-looking room surrounded by a Reichling camp. As to the stack of Khajiit, that is purely fan creation, although ES lore is very fluid in that regard. There is a more clear suggestion of a colony or two on the moon itself, one by the Khajiit, one a colony of the Empire, but those both come from extremely obscure sources. All in all, a bit less Enhofax has an excellent link with a bunch more material on the subject. That sound all familiar?
Somewhat, yeah. Holy shit, this lore goes deep. I was like, yeah, that's weird. I was at the beginning of this stream, I was like, that can't be right. Khajiit is part of like the Aldemari Dominion. That's kind of weird. And
yeah, at least in the Elder Scrolls Online, I knew that.
And
they helped them with some shit, and so they decided to be pals.
Turns out, Bosmer and Khajiit came from the same like source. Bosmer being wood elves, being the forest people / the forest ooze. And that's its own thing.
Do you know what sunbirds are?
Oh god.
That's because apparently those are spaceships that are also birds made of sun stuff.
We haven't even talked about the fucking floating whales.
Also, Cyrus's ship, which is just a seafaring vessel with a bunch of slowed stuff bolted onto it. The Empire also had a non-battle spire ship. Oh yeah, the Vec ships.
Oh, do you know about the flying whales?
No.
The Sea of Ghosts and so whales are like a thing. So there's also a thing in like Nordic culture where there are snow whales that will fly over Skyrim, and in the skies.
We do mean the real Scandinavian Nordic culture.
And Hammerfell and elsewhere have their own sand whales.
A lot of whales.
However, there's an entry that says that they can only be seen through the use of special concoctions, and I don't know if that is Bethesda trying to retcon it last minute.
They're real if you believe. If you have faith in the sand whales, you can see them.
I don't know if Kirkbride also had that in there, or I don't know if Kirkbride say, yeah, those places have flying whales, and Bethesda's like, oh, come on, what's this fucking chicanery? Yeah, you only see them when you're on, like, special concoctions, yeah. We're not making flying fucking whales. I get more dragons!
Elder Scrolls is a setting about where the people want to fucking kill elves. And we have geopolitics of fucking lizard people. We are not doing your fucking godhead shit, Kirkbride.
Do what's funny?
What?
In the Dark Brotherhood questline in Oblivion, it was written by the guy who'd go on to write the main stuff for Skyrim onwards, and you can tell it's the same guy because there's a murder mystery, and there's a Nord and an Imperial, and they're constantly arguing about like how the Imperials are handling Skyrim. So, because he got the work on Skyrim, it's implied that that might be a bit of foreshadowing.
That's in
That's in Oblivion. Oblivion, yeah.
Alright.
But also, yeah, like you were saying, it's like, yeah, dragons are cool. No, we're not doing the fucking godhead shit. No, we're not. God.
We are making a Tolkien fantasy, Kirkbride. You don't have to go this crazy.
You know what Cyrodiil was before? No, originally, according to old lore. It was like, imagine tropical Rome. That's what Cyrodiil was like in old lore. Tropical Rome.
I guess that's cool.
And now
now it's grassland.
After Todd saw Lord of the Rings, it's like, oh, we're making this grassland. We're gonna get all the knights. We're gonna get the Sauron towers. I'm in the Oblivion Gates. Oh my god, we're gonna typical medieval fantasy this the fuck up. Let's go.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. We're making Dungeons and Dragons, but I want to do this cool shit. No.
I mean,
fuck you, Kirkbride.
I mean, I love Dungeons and Dragons was Arena and Daggerfall. That's what, if you want to know the answer.
It feels like Oblivion too.
Arena and Daggerfall have cut beholders in their files still.
That doesn't change the fact that this looks like a Dungeons and Dragons game from everything I've seen.
Fun thing that was added in Oblivion. There's an Aurora Borealis over Skyrim specifically at night.
That's cool. That's a convenient thing to be able to see from your homeland. Somebody else's natural phenomenon.
Also their tallest mountain. Hey look, Riften's probably over there. I wonder how much crime is happening. probably better off than whatever Braville's got. Man,
Okay, what's the time period between Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim? What's,
okay,
like, the time difference?
Morrowind and Oblivion isn't really that much. There is a considerable gap between Oblivion and Skyrim.
Are we talking hundreds?
I think it's 100. I think it's like a couple hundred. But like the guy in the cell at the beginning of Oblivion canonically could have seen the protagonist of Morrowind. Also, do you want me to shit talk like a town really quickly?
Alright, fuck this town. What's wrong with this town?
Braville. This is what it's highly esteemed. This is what the Mages Guild looks like.
You see, they're very rustic in their aesthetic.
Yeah, we're going for a dilapidated, rustic vibe. Let me go. Now let me show you what the outside, what this town looks like. It's a bunch of wooden, like, shacks and, like, huts.
It's very important that we do not paint this wood.
Okay.
We need to really show off the decay to give it texture.
Look at that.
We want our buildings to look filthy. We want this bridge to look like it is moss worn. We need to get the proper amount of moss on this fucking bridge.
Also the church.
We need to make sure our fountain has the right amount of grime.
And hey, there's something exclusive to this town that no other place really has.
What?
A skooma den.
You know what? We need to have the skooma den. We need to let the kids show up to the skooma den. It will teach them important life lessons.
It fucks me up that anytime if an NPC takes skooma, it's a downer for them. But if any player character takes skooma, it's an upper.
What's that mean in the context of a video game?
I mean uppers and downers. Like, I mean that's a general drug thing. Like to give you an example, cocaine upper, weed downer.
Does that mean like the NPCs talk lethargically?
That
while
means
you move fast?
That means that if it's a downer, that means they're all passed out. They're lying around. They don't have a lot of energy. And when the player character takes it, you can like run at Sonic the Hedgehog levels if you take enough of it.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I guessed. I wasn't sure how it worked in the context of a video game, but yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my, did you hear the bell get cut off or like?
Yeah, a little bit. It was very important we kept the jank. What even did they do? So they like took the actual game and just painted over it, or what happened?
It's weird. Like we don't know for sure. It was like this is a different engine. This is Unreal 5, but the original game is still in the files.
Maybe it's just like they copied over the code?
The Oblivion Nexus actually had some insight into it, but I forgot. Let's look.
I remember hearing something about like them running the games at the same time, but I might have been completely misunderstanding.
I would have looked at Oblivion Remastered. It says saying like the explanation. I see this mod replaces all the battle themes in Oblivion Remastered with Lil Wayne.
It's a very useful mod.
Oblivion Remastered uses an interesting hybrid of two different game engines, a modified version of the original Oblivion game engine and Unreal 5.
Cool. Technology is interesting.
What's going on with the Godhead?
He's asleep. What more is there to say about the Godhead? He's chilling.
Oh yeah.
Did you
This
ever play ESO?
I played a little bit of it, but I remember for some reason I didn't vibe with it because it felt like too MMO-y to me at the time. But it also felt like but the Elder Scrolls vibe wasn't strong. But this is a while ago. I don't know. Like it just rubbed me the wrong way for some reason.
I remember playing it and thinking, man, this is. I was hoping this would feel like Skyrim. This does not feel like Skyrim. But man, this fucking big PvP map where you can put down siege engines and break down walls is really fucking cool.
Morning.
And I did a lot of that, even though I was.
I hear there were
So
some goblins
they
around
had
the
this
recent
thing where it was supposed to be like the you
You
were all essentially made to be the same level. But if you were still super low level, you couldn't fucking do shit against the other players.
I hear the legions have been recalled from Fort Swampmouth in Black Marsh, and many of the Argonian slaves have returned to their tribes. I have heard Argonia is a strange and treacherous place. It is no wonder odd things are happening there. Bye. Farewell.
That
It's
was
you.
a fucking weird way to end the con.
What's
I mean, to
Conversation.
be fair, this is the one time it makes sense because we're inside of a skooma den.
Also, is it called Argonia?
Some people call it that. It's known as Black Marsh to Argonians, but some people call it Argonia. And by people, I mean people who aren't from there or aren't Argonians themselves call it that.
You see, they respect the ethno-state concept.
Like people who call it Argon, I would say like it's kind of like similar to like Mexico and Mexico, where like, I'm trying to think of a better comparison. Alright,
I get the idea.
Germany, Deutschland, where there's what people actually from the place call it, and there's what.
Can you spare a coin?
I get the idea, you know, it's whenever they're referring to, it's interchangeable.
Also, I think I would describe this. What the fuck?
You good? What happened?
My character vibrated when I walked up against a wall. I heard someone describe Bravil as the Tampa of Tamriel.
Oh.
And I think that's an accurate descriptor. Fucking Bravil. Man.
I will say I was a bit disappointed I never got to visit Skyrim in ESO because I was curious how it like compared. How much of the geography they kept.
There's a comparison with its version of Morrowind.
I'm sure somebody put out a video like making a side by side of the Skyrim landmass.
Man. Also,
I will say, Elsewhere was cool. It was like a tropical island place.
Yeah, I will say. The one there is, I am pretty sure that Pelennor was post Kirkbride.
Oh yeah, in ESO, you're like going to Morrowind proper, right? You're not just going to like some set of islands.
You go to Vardenfell, which is where the video game took place.
Oh, so you're still going to some set of islands?
No, it's the main island.
Okay. Is Morrowind an island?
Vardenfell is an island. Morrowind is not. Morrowind's like a peninsula.
Okay, I just looked up a map. Okay, so Mortonville is like half of Morrowind.
Yeah, it's
like half the size. It's like our 30-40% of it.
Man, I just saw somebody go, you have to stay in the middle zone of knowledge. Know enough lore so you can understand what happens in the games, and not enough to make you either someone who's completely oblivious and new, or a brain-rotted lorehead.
I feel like the next game should take place on like a weird tri-border between Cyrodiil, Morrowind, and Blackmarsh.
That is Cyrodiil.
No, I mean, you're right. I'm gonna take a screenshot of the specific area I mean.
Oh, I thought you said elsewhere. Because elsewhere isn't anywhere near it.
No, I mean specifically, like, here, wait, I'll also post the map I'm screenshotting. Like, specifically, a fun border between Cyrodiil, Morrowind, and Blackmarsh. Just like the tri-border. Just make it real weird. You don't get to go entirely to Morrowind. You don't get to go entirely to Blackmarsh. You don't get to go entirely to Cyrodiil. But you can go into like a weird mix of it.
I was thinking,
It's very important. We don't have you go to the important areas. We just have you go to the weird areas of the important areas.
if I wrote it, if I was like the director of the Elder Scrolls, that would be where it would be. I'd be like, all right, it's time we got fucking weird with this.
You will never go to Hammerfell, though. You want to go to fucking Hammerfell, pick up the PSP game.
You mean the DOS game?
No, the PSP game, Elder Scrolls Redguard.
No, that was for DOS. That's not for PSP. You're thinking
It was
about
3D.
Yeah, it's still for an older computer. Still older
I'm
computer
looking this
game.
up. I thought it was for sure PSP.
There was gonna be a PSP Oblivion or a PSP Elder Scrolls Travel, but that got canceled.
Alright, Elder Scrolls of fucking DOS? Really? DOS could do 3D?
Not DOS. I think it was like 98.
No, it says DOS on this.
Oh, I was right.
Platform, Microsoft Windows and MS-DOS. Wait, there's a fucking Steam page?
Oh, yep.
You can get Redguard on Steam?
Yep. That was a thing that was done recently.
Wait, I'm going to the actual Steam page because the one that I got was in Spanish. It's mixed opinions. What do some of these people say? Whoever decided to make the key to draw your sword... Wait. The same key to talk to NPCs in a game where you have your sword out in front of the NPCs, you get arrested, needs themselves to be arrested. This might be the worst game I've ever played. They tried to force this game out before OOT, and it shows. What is OOT?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, right. I thought it sounded familiar. Okay, here's one positive one. Redguard is definitely a bit of a buggy mess, but under it is a quite enjoyable experience. A lot of the game-breaking bugs can be avoided with about 10 to 15 minutes worth of changes, and then some link to a thing. I guess it's it's to like some Steam community guide. Big props for this user's guide. And it's like just saying like the guide is good. Apparently it's very buggy according to some of these reviews. So hey, if you want to be a black person in Elder Scrolls, get Elder Scrolls Redguard. If you want to go to the home of the black people. Does it actually take place in Hammerfell?
I forget if it does. It takes place in an area. You also get to see how the origins of Azura in that game, I think.
Which one's Azura again? That's the fucking dark elf person, right?
God.
Yeah. Okay, about this game. Tiber Septum has swept through Tamriel, uniting its squabbling lands by force. Even the mighty Red Guards of Hammerfell have come under Imperial control. Cyrus, the legendary Red Guard mercenary, leads a rebellion against the Empire, along with a faction known as the Restless League. Cyrus defeats the occupying forces at Stros Makai and forces Tiber Septum to make peace with the Red Guards. Is that just spoiling the plot?
Yeah.
The description on Steam against the main description: one man against an empire.
Man, let me tell you. In that game, on a cutscene, the main character uses telekinesis spell to make a sword float, and he stabs someone with it.
Oh.
Nobody in the entire Elder Scrolls series, no player character can do that with telekinesis ever. Ever.
He's just that good. He's just that good, AC. He's just that good.
Cyrus is so cool. You don't understand. Cyrus is...
Where is this in the fucking timeline? Is this like a prequel to most of the things?
No, it's not a prequel. It came out like before like Morrowind.
No, I meant like the timeline of the game. Like, is that like
a
before
while
the
ago.
events?
It was a while ago. I forget. I don't think about Redguard a lot.
What are you talking about? It's some
Unless it's Oblivion and some Radiant like AI NPC. The Radiant AI, it's like conversation. They're all like, "Have you heard about Cyrus the Great and how he fought and all that? That was so cool." Yeah.
And I want a game taking place in Hammerfell and I want the fucking controversy to be how there's not enough white people.
Not the white pharaoh manifesting within Hammerfell.
What is this white erasure? It'll either be that or it'll be the people bitching about how nobody wants this. Nobody's interested in fucking Hammerfell. What cool shit goes on in fucking Hammerfell? What is High Rock Bren? Is High Rock's Brens
and orcs?
Wait, the Brens and orcs are in the same landmass?
Yeah, I think Daggerfall is a part of High Rock.
I do find it funny that, like, Brens, I assume they're based off the French, because that's, like, an actual real-life, like, ethnicity.
They're, like, half-elves. They're the only, like, hybrid that's, like, kind of worked out, I think.
Really? They're half-elves?
Not half-elves. They're, like, quarter-elves. There's elf blood in there.
I find it funny that they are, like, next... Okay, so it's Skyrim and High Rock. And Cyrodiil, what I assume are like the whitest motherfuckers ever that are all bordering Hammerfell. The darkest people.
Cyrodiil. Not Cyrodiil.
And yet they are like on direct borders. And somehow there's not black people in any of them from like race mixing. Or just migration. I read a thing saying, like, in the lore, there was some separation of humanity, so maybe there's something to that. But, I mean, I'm looking at a map, and those places are, like, directly connected. It's not like it was an island.
Oh.
That's also connected to Cyrodiil. I remember playing ESO, and it's like a tropical landscape, which I generally associate with islands.
It's weird. I guess my final note for this stream, because it's gone late. Granted, it took me a lot longer because of OBS shenanigans.
Did we even get to the Thieves Guild thing you wanted to do?
No, I just fucked around and talked about stuff, which is fine.
That's great, honestly.
I'll end it with this. Elder Scrolls lore is as weird as you want it to be. Don't let anybody stop you from being like, Akatasha Dragon stuff is cool, but don't let anybody stop you from being like, man, the Godhead in his sleeping dream sure is something.
I like to imagine Todd Howard goes up to Kirkbride and goes, "No! No, bad Kirkbride! We're making a generic fantasy RPG!"
Okay, so here's the thing. They did get into an argument once, apparently, and it was over how, much a werewolf could jump, how far they could go. Apparently, according to rumors, and this is speculation, the shouting match between how far a werewolf could jump between Todd and Michael Kirkbride was loud enough that the whole building heard it.
I hope that's true. That's really funny. Why would this be an argument? Is there any detail?
That's all I need to look into it more. I swear there's more info on this.
I like to think that Todd Howard got abusive to Kirkbride anytime Godhead was mentioned. I like to think of this. This is very funny to me. This domestic abuse situation.
Yeah.
It is not awful at all, and I think it should be encouraged in the game industry.
God.
I don't think we have enough of it.
So my final note for this stream is it has gotten really hot in this room. The computer never got to too dangerous temperatures according to this. Though I
hope you fix that shit. That sounds worrying.
Yeah,
Well, my computer didn't burst into flames, so.
Yeah.
You worded it in such a scary way.
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't know I'll have to look further into it. I could be working this whole time, and it's just being like, I've been a weird dunce about it. But, I need to look into it further, because I spent all day.
Maybe take it to a computer repair person.
I may have to do that.
Some guy that has his own computer repair business in his home. I've had good, and I say this unironically, I've had good experiences with the guy running his business out of his home.
It's just that, yeah, it's this whole time, and that software wasn't picking it up. I mean, the lights are on it, the light is going.
Well, that doesn't. That
just
means you plugged in the light.
But that just means that the light. I mean, the main light that goes on for the power system, but I guess the point is I need to look into that. But yeah, that was a fun stream.
I learned things.
I
talked about things.
I guess another final note is yeah, I forgot that another side effect is that the computer makes this room warmer to keep itself cool.
Wait, it makes the room warmer to make this itself cool?
Okay, so the way it pushes hot air out of it, it does it efficiently. But my room is built in a way where it traps in warm air a little too good. So the temperature of the room just goes up.
Do you have a relatively small bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay, I had also a very small bedroom back when I lived with my parents. And yeah, like my computer was the heating system of that room. My room would be an entirely different climate to the rest of the house because you would open up the door, you wouldn't feel any different. You walked into the room, you walked into a wall of heat.
No, mine's like to the point where like you're in it and you're like, it's a little hot in here, and you're kind of thinking about it, and you leave the room. It's like, why is it so cold out here?
Whenever you like walk back in, is it like walking into a different climate?
It's like kind of walking to a different climate. Yeah. It's like I walk out of here, I'm like, huh, it's actually kind of cold around this area. Is it cold? Like,
you're also pretty skinny, right?
I'm also
Do you get cold easily?
very easily.
Okay, same for me, because like I'm always wearing like long sleeves and long pants.
Granted,
So it's like for me, I was loving the heat. My parents were like, I'm dying whenever they would go inside my room.
For me, like right now, it's to the point where I'm starting to be like, oh, it's a little warm in here. But yeah, final notes is that'll be the stream. Good night.
And I